Hi, Samara. Hey, Vita. Hello, Islam. I almost forgot my deck. I had it over there. How are you guys? Hey, Sana. I actually had been a bit MIA because I lost my voice, so I couldn't record. That's why I think the last time I uploaded was on Thursday? No, on Wednesday, actually. But next week I'm going to continue with the reading for the birthday people for the Aries season because I do have a lot of people, so I want to focus on those. Hi Amber, hola Alison. Because I do have a lot of Aries people, and I want to start earlier. I don't want to leave them all for April because if I decide to do other kind of series. Oh, yeah. There were a lot of people, nevertheless, on first day. Oh yes, I won live on first day. Yes, I now remember. And then that I had to cut it. Hi Parvati, good morning. I had to cut it like abruptly because it has started raining pretty hard here. And I don't know, maybe it was because the weather got really cold all of the sudden that the next morning I woke up with a sore throat and I couldn't stop coughing, and I was really my throat really hurt, so I couldn't speak like really. So I had to stop for 2 days. So that's why I, I was uploading maybe a few TikToks here and there, but no sound, no speaking, only typing. Voice is a very important resource, so you do need to take care of it if you have like cough or if you have a sore throat. You do need to let it rest. Especially because here we are on autumn. I think it's autumn, yes. Very different from the people that live on the south part of the planet, that you are entering springtime. Here we are entering autumn and winter then. So it's going to get cold, it's going to get rainy, it's going to get windy. So, yeah. Any news about the K-pop community? Anything happened? Hi, Mariska. I'm from Argentina, Alison. Soy de Argentina. Oh my, jumping cards again. We are starting. Happy Sunday, Spirit. This is going to be the card of our life. You know, I always actually wanted to pull a card. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you so much. Happy Sunday. I actually always wanted to pull a card for as a message for us that we are here for the live. And well, now a card jump out because I always forget. I don't know why. I never pull a card in the start of the at the start of the live. I always forget. But this is our card, guys. The Ace of Swords energy. So you know, Minhyuk hours here. Definitely, Minhyuk hours has started. Moon in Gemini energy has started, but bear with me because my throat is a bit. It still hurts, so I'm going to be. I'm going to take a few breaks to drink something or something like that. So if you can actually like provide comments and stuff, it will help me. Enter spring and the weather is suddenly hot last week. Oh, Mingyu from 17 has been getting high lately for showing support to politics. Ah, yes, I think we talked about it last Sunday. Thank you, Spirit. Yes, we did talk about the Mingyu. I'm sorry, Mingyu. I'm sorry. The Minhyuk and the Mingyus, it's very confusing name for me. Yes, sure, Spirit. We can do it. Fighting. Oh, yes, I saw a TikTok, Sana Heart. I saw a TikTok, and you know, it gets, for me, hi Eva, it gets, you know, I try not to get engaged in those, not on a TikTok or or Twitter or something like that. I try to not be affected by that. But this one really did affect me because I saw like the original, of course, AT's video and then someone else's video, and it was pretty much a copy. It was, you know, there wasn't like, oh, and maybe I'm interpreting this wrong. It was a copy. So I was really upset, actually. I shared it with my friends, and I was like, I cannot believe this. But oh well, you know, let's just let it go. Oh, next week we have, oh yes, I think a Big Bang. It's April 4th, if I'm not mistaken, April 4th or 5. Yes, next week. April 11. Yes. I'm happy to see them work. They all should, like, keep the energy going, keep the ideas going, just keep working, keep working. That's a sign of course not overwork, but that's a sign of a group that just keep going, just keep producing, keep enjoying the music, keep showing up for your fans. That's what matters at the end. Did you see the title of my live? Hopefully, new fans disrespecting Big Bang will shut up about a legendary 7-year-old group now. Yes, really, really. The disrespect. But that's actually what people that doesn't actually is here, that is not really here for the music. You really see everyone else's work being released like a threat, or like suddenly you don't care, but somehow you are pendant of what they're doing. Yes, gaslighting. Because that's something that I wanted to, like, educate us, a bit, especially because I want you to have this reflection about gaslighting. I know that everyone on the internet uses it. Ghosting, it's another word that is everywhere. Um, this, then you have the word grooming. All those psychological terms that actually it takes a while for you to actually be right about the meaning. I think that the internet overuses it and actually is not applied correctly. I remember this because I think I made a video about gaslighting. I think I made a short video about me ranting about what is gaslighting, the examples, the origins, why that word was made. And the other day I was listening to a psychologist talking on a podcast about, I think it was about the last Netflix documentary, that it was about this bed vegan. I don't know if you watch it, but it's on Netflix. It's a documentary. Bed vegan is called. Bed vegan and other. Um, so I think that this is a very graphic um, example if you want to know that how gaslighting works. Because I think that in the video that I made about gaslighting, I mentioned a very old movie that is called Gaslight. And that's a black and white movie, and that's where actually the term gaslighting was invented after that. Because I had an issue with a lot of people at least in the K-pop community. I saw a lot of people using the word too lightly, and that it doesn't apply. It doesn't apply. Um, I I even watched a lot of video of YouTube YouTubers talking about gaslighting and being and they always have gaslighting on their title, and I'm like, that's not gaslighting. And it's not that, it's not about, like, each experience its own, of course, that you if you went through something, what you had experienced. But if someone manipulated you in a relationship, or you felt like they lied to you, or they disappeared on you, or they cheated on you, that's not gaslighting. Gaslighting, it's a whole process. It's a very systematic and very long process where you are made to believe by the person that it has to be your partner, because you have to live with that person, you have to have contact with that person, you have to have a history with that person, where systematically this person starts to question your perception of things about the relationship. And when I say this, I say relationship. So if someone disappeared on you, or if someone lied to you or pretended to be someone else when you just met, and then you find out, I don't know, 3 months later that that person was lying to you, or had another family, or was married, that's not gaslighting, that's lying. So there's a lot of misuse of the word, and that's not very pleasant to read. I actually had, I don't engage in comment sections because I don't like it. But when the Lucas situation happened, there was someone in the comment section that I was like, oh, how can you be so ignorant? Like, she was like claiming, oh, because Lucas gaslighted this female. She gaslighted him. And actually, I mean, we don't know until this day what happened, but what I can tell you is that I don't think a person like Lucas or any K-pop idol has the time and the intention, or the plenty of free time to actually being like gaslighting someone for years. I think that if even if you are manipulated in some kind of connection, that's called manipulation, that someone manipulated you. But it's not gaslighting. Gaslighting is very serious. It's very serious. And actually, like I mentioned, it takes a lot of years. And actually, it takes a lot of years for someone to realize that they had been gaslighted. So, I think that those, to use that word that lightly just because you want to add dramatism to, or you want to put, like, you want to use a term because everyone uses that term, so you use it because you read it and you're like, oh, this is gaslighting. No, it's much complex than that. It's much complex than that. But the drum, it annoyed me the way they used the term, because and also there are other terms related to mental health. That's why I always, whenever I see an idol going through a difficult time or challenging period in a tarot spread, I don't call that person depressive. Or I'm not saying like, oh, he's depressed. Because for you to be depressed, you need to be diagnosed by a professional. So I cannot take someone that, he's depressed. So you know, because mental health is something serious. It's not something to that you just can like brush it off and be like, okay, I'm ready to work. No, it affects a lot of parts of your life, a lot of, and it's serious. And there are a lot of people dealing with those things every day. For you to be like, oh, because my bias looks sad, so he's depressed, or he's anxious, he has anxiety problems, he has anxiety issues. And it's like, are you his doctor? Because we are all anxious inside. I mean, anxiety sometimes is not bad. Anxiety sometimes it means that we are human and we have our moments of vulnerability, and it's okay. That you don't need to ask for a pill every time you feel like you are not comfortable with the circumstances that you're living in the moment. If we had to take a pill for every time we feel out of control, oh, we would be medicated all day long. Yes. It's just that, and like I mentioned, to be discussing their mental health status and them not actually getting a proper checkup or a proper like follow up of they don't have the tools, they have to keep working. So for you to make a huge assumption and buzz about things that you had watched or observed about their behavior, you can be, sometimes if they look worried, it can be a stomach ache. I don't know, maybe they want to go to the bathroom. Sometimes people just assume things like I'm going to quote Minhyuk here. It's just that anxiety, we all go through anxiety, especially when we are faced with a lot of responsibilities and with a lot of challenges in our environment. In the sense that probably, I don't know, if you work for a company or for a corporation where every day someone gets fired and you know that you are afraid if you will be next, or suddenly everything gets restructured, so you don't know who you're going to work with next week, or you don't know if you will have to move or not, or you don't know if you will have the same role or if they will add more tasks and responsibilities to you, so you live in that sort of survival mode of like, okay, I gotta work because I need the money, but the environment is toxic. So in a way, for you to defend yourself, you start to get anxious, and anxiety means this need to be already in the future and not being able to concentrate in the present. Anxiety, that is what it is about. Is your mind like, already setting up different like scenarios of what will happen, how it will develop, how that person is going to talk to me, what they are going to say to me. So while my mind is there, my body starts to have symptoms of like, oh, I don't know if I can make it. Oh, I don't know. That's why one of the best exercises that you can do to slow down from having anxiety is to breathe. Sometimes we forget to breathe. And it's not about like, oh, I'm alive, I'm breathing. No, no, no. Breathe consciously. Stop for a minute. Breathe. Slow down. And that's something that only you can do for yourself. Breathe. Let it go. Let go what's beyond your control. So it's a lot of things, but sometimes when you work for, when your role in life is a proper or a professional role is so demanding that you need to be always ready, you sometimes forget your own needs because you are thinking about what you have to do first. So you think, oh, I have to accomplish this task. So I forget about me. I move my body, I show up to work, I do what I have to do, I know what I have to do next, but somehow your mind is like, I can take it, I can take it, I can take it, I can take it. Because your body keeps moving. And I think that that's something that probably idols do face a lot because they do not have time to stop and be more reflective about, oh, what does my self want? What does my inner self needs right now in order to be happy? They don't have the time to go that deep. Um, so, sometimes when I think about idols, I think about a salesperson, because I never been famous. I never been like in this environment of being fame and having to have a persona that I show to the public, and then a persona that I am on, like, on an intimate level. But since I had worked for customer service for a long time since I was younger, and I had always been like a salesperson, that I have to identify what the potential client wants. I have to detect their needs, and at the same time, I have to act accordingly to what they want in order to close a deal. So I think that being an idol somehow has a lot to do with that. Because, and if you are, yes, I'm going to wait that I finish this, and then I'm going to answer Vita. But May is right. I agree with her. But I always felt like probably the stage persona and how they show themselves in the fan signs and stuff, it reminds me a lot about being a salesperson, because especially when you are in an environment that it's very competitive, in the sense that, yes, I had co-workers, we were all salesperson, but we worked in teams, but at the same time we all had different goals. We had a different amount of sales that we had to achieve in 20 days, and we worked in a sort of like ranking of popularity because of this. So definitely you have to be very knowledgeable about what your good traits are. You have to promote, and you also have to be really nice. You have to be a good listener. You have to have a good and proper body language. You have to be gentle but assertive at the same time. So, for me, it reminds me of an idol. When an idol is on stage, they have to somehow show their bright smiles. They have to be very pleasant. They have to be playful. They have to be very cute. They have to sell you this fantasy. And I think that when you are a salesperson, you have to do exactly the same. There were so many times where, for me to finish a sale with someone, I would be running around talking about the products, talking about their characteristics, and being nice and being pleasant and being of service until that person says, okay, I'm going to go with this. But I never had to lose my temper. I never had to lose my patience. I never had to lose my manners. So sometimes after that person left and I was able to get out of my work space, that it would be like an scenario for them. Because I had to keep calm, thank you very much, bye, who's next? You know, never break character because everyone is watching you. While you are working, while you are playing a role, everyone is watching you. So you don't have a moment to be like, oh, thank God she left. No. You have to be, yes, how can I help you? Yes. And I would really see a lot of people during the day. Then my mind will go like this. Then probably when I had a break, I would go to the back office of the building. I would drink a lot of water because, for talking too much, you get thirsty, obviously. Yes. And, and sometimes you're like, oh my God, finally. Finally, I can be myself. Like, finally, I can break free from the sales persona. Because in my role as a salesperson, what I want and who I am doesn't matter. I have a sort of guideline that I have to fulfill. I have steps that I can fulfill. I have, sometimes we are scripted. There are keywords in a sales process that you do need to use. Like, for example, hello, how are you? How can I help you? Thank you so much. Bye. Please. That maybe for some it would be like, oh, but that's basic education, but not everyone is educated. So when you are a salesperson, even though if the client is being rude to you, you need to follow the guidelines. You cannot be yourself. You have to be pleasant. You have to be a good experience for the person that is trusting you and that is buying what you are offering. So there's a sense of manipulation, of course, because we are not like this backstage. I'm doing this because I want to sell you something. So I think that for K-pop idols, sometimes it can happen the same, that maybe sometimes when they are backstage, when they are in their cars, when they are at the dorms, they are like finally like, oh, thank God. Thank God it's over. I wanted to pee so much and I couldn't use the bathroom because I had to be sitting there smiling like 3 hours in a row. It had happened to me, guys. Like, while closing a deal with a very indecisive client, you have to be there. And sometimes I would be like in my period, or I would be having problems with my health, or I would be like sweating because I had fever, or I would be like wanting to go to the bathroom to pee really bad, and I had to hold it in. I have to, hi Vanessa, I had to, like, now it's not about me, it's about what the experience that I'm giving you. So it's not about me. So sometimes when I think about a famous person and why sometimes people that meet, not all of them, but sometimes people that meet their idols in person, some of them are like, oh, but he was so rude to me, like he didn't smile, like he smiles to everyone, why he doesn't smile at me, or why he looked so serious, and oh, thank you, Vanessa. And of course, because they are human. And there are moments where if you watch, especially if you meet them in person, you will be able to crack a bit inside who they really are. I remember this girl idol saying I can hold now, hold, they were live. And yes, 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 and I heard. Being a receptionist as well. I had worked as a receptionist as well. And I had to be, and I had to be like this. Hello, how can I help you? Like a robot, and always this posture. You can never be like this. You have to be like this. Especially for the idols. The idols, their body language is written by a lot of people. A lot of people are reading idols' body language. It's exhausting. Yes, it's exhausting. That's why I started to use a lot of crystals. I started to, protect myself. I started to say a lot of prayers. I started to do a lot of inner work because I was like, okay, Vanessa, this is your job. Your job is paying your bills, and I'm a very responsible person, so I will not quit unless, of course, I had been like in a very like in a conflict where I feel disrespected, of course. But I went through very challenging but very nurturing experiences. And I was like, yes, I have days where I felt like this was my calling because I have the endurance to do it. Yes, working with kids, you need to be soft spoken. Yes, it's the same. Imagine if an idol spoke, screams at you or shouts at you. Everyone would be like, oh, you know? And sometimes they are moody. I remember I had days where we, I'm sorry, I'm still, I think that for ship we were like four salespeople. And whenever I had like a very like intense client, I would go to my coworker that he was so nice. Thank God he was so nice. And I was like, okay, I had been talking and seated with, not even sitting, standing, because we weren't allowed to sit. We had to be standing. So I'm talking. I'm like with this person for the last 2 hours. My head is about to explode. Can you please help me? Because I cannot close the deal and I'm losing my smile and I'm losing, there's one thing about me that I learned through the years with a lot of like training to not be so Capricorn, basically, to soften up my expressions because I used to be really like expressive with my eyes about when someone is really getting on my nerves. You would definitely see it on my face, especially because I start frowning. I start like, I would start like, and that's when I start to, there's something, or either I'm suspicious of you, or there's something like, and it's, in this case, guys, if you see me frown here, it's because I cannot read properly. So sometimes I'm like this. It's not that I'm angry, just to clarify. But when someone is getting on my nerves, I used to be very expressive on the face. And with a lot of training, I learned that you shouldn't, like, you have, and idols do this training as well, because there are certain, um, for example, that's why when they laugh, they cannot laugh very loud. When they are laughing, they in their smile, it becomes bigger and bigger. They always cover their mouth, and that's a very polite way. It's not just Asian. It's actually a very polite way of you that you are not going to show your client your whole mouth wide open, or you're not going to be like, ah, ha, 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 ha. No, you have to, keep a sort of composure. Um, mm, yes. But that's why I think that they are watched every day. I remember one time a customer actually complained about me because I said hi to her, but I didn't look at her in the eye. So she was complaining to my boss about me because I think I was in the cashier, you know, where you count the money. And she came up to me to ask me, I don't know, where it was certain thing, because this is something that sometimes people cannot, they don't have the patience to look for things, so they go straight to the first person they see, and they go like, where is this, where can I find this, you know, and probably is right over there in front of their noses, but no, they need to go and find someone that can assist them. So I was like counting, counting the money like this, and I was like, I know she approached the place where I was because I saw her and I heard her, and I was like, oh yes, because I was finishing counting, and I suck at counting, so I cannot lose concentration. But she wasn't my client; she was just a passerby. So, good morning, Mariana. And I was like, oh yes, what can I do for you? And I was like talking to her while counting, you know, and but very in automatic. And she was like, oh, she's so, she didn't want to help me. She's so rude. She didn't look at me in the eye. And I pay for you all, with my money. I pay for you all, for all your paychecks. You should be more grateful. So that's why idols cannot break character. They cannot they cannot even turn their back to you, because that means you are disrespecting the person. But you know what, Spirit, actually the sales or the advertising or the customer service, they have this rule that is the golden rule, that the client or the consumer is always right. Yes, Helio. So I think that if you think about K-pop, you can see that the fans, that they of course pay a lot of money, buy a lot of things to get into a fan sign, for example. They are like, okay, I spent a lot of money to see you or to talk to you for 3 minutes. I don't know how long it lasts. So I want a great experience. So you have to give it to me because I paid a lot of money. So in this case, the fans are the customers, and the customers is always right. And this is why companies would let things slide always. Yes? Yes? They pay. And if it was like these guys are really like doing it because of Donoren, because of the bottom of their heart, and they do not want to get anything out of this, then they would be like, okay, yes, I don't want to smile at you because I don't like you, or I don't like the way you talk to me, I don't like it. Yes. Mm. Yes, that's why, you know, it's like, what can you give me? So I give it to you. You know, it's like, but you know what they are really good at about the idols and the idol system or the idol training is that they included the emotional aspect of this. We were talking about this the other day. That is not just the fans that get obsessive over a 25 something adult trying to baby him. No. Because yes, maybe the fangirl or the fanboy can be infatuated with their image or with what they represent. But also the idol and how the company sells them is for you to get addicted to it, for you to keep consuming it. So they add certain attributes and certain like like conditions so you can feel very intimate with them, as if they were approachable. And you know, when you are a salesperson, trust is the main base of a good sales strategy. You have to earn your client's trust. If the client doesn't trust you, they are not going to go through the whole process with you. They are not going to, they are just probably going to start asking you a lot of random questions, and then they will leave, or they will go and buy somewhere else. Or they will buy it online, they will do it themselves. And what we want as a salesperson or as someone that is making a transaction is for you to keep coming to me. And I know that you can do it online. I know that you can buy it online. But I want you to come back to me so I can assist you through the experience. But you do need to go through a lot of things, especially like an emotional connection with the client. You do need to observe their needs. You know, I think that probably the companies do also have a lot of research about what kind of fan or what kind of personality each fan has. Because we do have it with clients. We have 4 different kinds of clients that they are divided in colors. We have the emotional one, we have the intellectual one, we have the logical, and then I think we have the reactionary kind of person, that is the person that is always in a hurry and that they want you to like assist them now. They don't care, they don't want to hear all the, no, give me what I want now and do it fast. So when you have 4 types, you do have to analyze what kind of client is your client, and you have to adapt to. And I think that with fans is the same. The fans, they must know which like archetypes, you know, which different kind of fan you're going to encounter. So you have to adapt your personality to what the other fan wants. The only thing they should sell give to us is the music, but sometimes it's not. Yeah, but I honestly think that there's a reason why people get so attached to them. Maybe people do need this experience. Like I mentioned earlier, with the online shopping, you know, you can actually like buy online and you get it really fast. But somehow, you at the end of the day, some people do want to have someone on the other side that can like listen to them and have a one-on-one experience. You know, I have people telling me their personal issues as if they know me forever. So, you know, some people are really lonely. Some people are really lonely. And maybe going to buy a certain item, maybe they don't need the item. They just want the experience. And I think that that's what happens with K-pop. Yes, they do sell great music, but sometimes the people want an extra, that they want to get closer to their idols, because and sometimes they do support their music because they love the idols, and maybe the music is like, oh, I don't like it that much, but I want to see my idol. I want to hear him. I want to see him. I want to hear him laugh. He makes me happy. She makes me happy, because we have female idols and male idols. That's why I remember one day we were talking with our manager when I used to work at the retail, and she was telling me how she was telling us how we had this new system that is in Asia. They already have it, that it's like this self service that you actually you go and put the groceries or put the items you want to buy, and you are your own cashier and you do the whole thing. You pay, you wrap it, you do everything. And she was like, oh, this is the future, and everyone were like, oh, but that thing, that machine is going to take away all our jobs, because if these machines start to, there will be no one like, actually I think that in Japan it already exists, these these shops where there's no one actually attending, there's not a human person, there's just like you do it like with the machines. But I think what I said, I remember in that meeting, is that I think that it's going to be a novelty, but I don't think that people are going to, they're always going to need human interaction. There, because we are like this, we are built like this, we crave it. Yes, automated service, yes. We do need it. The self checkout, yes. We do need it. So, I saw a restaurant online that delivers food on trains. Oh, wow. Yes, I think that we will make an advance, but yes, because that's what I was saying. Who is behind the machines making maintenance? Humans. Like that's something that, and the companies, they cannot waste time, so they cannot be like, oh, let's wait for the service guy to get here. And I remember that. I remember that that we used to have a cashier, to charge, and it would always get broken. Always have a problem, always have to call the maintenance guy, always. And the poor guy, he would be like in charge of a lot of machines, so he would always come running and late, and people would get upset. And that's what happens when you rely so much on machines. It's like they have their problems, they have their moments of that they do not work really well, and you have to be there, you have to so at the end of the day, who saves the day? The human. The human. So yeah, but it does make some processes quicker. Sometimes machines do help in a lot of things, but it's like you cannot get really comfortable and really like be like, oh, it's already taken care of, I will let the machine run my business. No, you do need people. You do need people. So if you're just getting, it would take away jobs. Elon Musk has to make car doors that don't even open. Is no technical advantage, but you missing work because of that. Yes. Oh yes, I couldn't make it because the door wouldn't open. I'm going home. I'm going to take my bike and going home. So yes, guys, it's the same. It's the same. Oh, we were Beta. I remember Beta. You're still here. Then you were talking about how to seduce someone. I think I agree with that of being yourself, because actually to seduce someone, I think that the best way to seduce someone is to not seduce them. Actually, I think that um, actually, at least for my experience, I think that I had been successful at getting someone's attention, uh, just being myself and not being focused on wanting to get that person's attention, because I don't know if it's coming too strong, or maybe they see, they notice and they feel a bit uncomfortable and intimidated by that, or it turns out to be awkward and it turns out to be not well received, or the person is like, maybe they like you but feel a bit like, like, oh, this is too much, or, so you do need to um, be yourself and not, yes, show interest, but don't be too, like, don't try to be strategic in seducing, because it doesn't work. At the end of the day, the person, if they're going to feel attracted to you, they have to feel attracted to who you really are. Because if you play a role, or if you play a sort of like, yes. Mm, mm. Yes, because it doesn't end well, and you end up feeling really frustrated and feeling bad for yourself, because you are like, oh, I made all this, I did this effort. It's like, for example, if you're going to dress up, or you're going to wear something beautiful, something that you feel like you are attractive, or something that you're like, oh, this looks great on me, just do it for you. And I know that this sounds like a cliche, but I think that it's necessary for you to do it for you and appreciate it, and you appreciate it, the effort that you put on looking good, or looking your best, or looking different, like trying something new with your style. Enjoy it, you enjoy it, because probably the other person will not notice it. But what they will notice is your change of attitude. Because if you do like yourself, or if you feel good about yourself, that sort of energy exudes like confidence. And then confidence is very attractive. Confidence is very attractive. And if the person is the right person for you, they will not feel intimidated by you being yourself. And if they feel intimidated by you being yourself, there's your answer. Probably the person is not for you, or they choose, they are looking for something else. Because actually seduction, you can seduce a lot of people, but at the end of the day, the resolution is, what are you going to do with that attention? What do you want to do with that attention? Sometimes it's better to just connect with what makes you beautiful, or what makes you feel beautiful. Like, oh, I'm doing this for me and I feel great. And that sort of changes the atmosphere and how other people perceive you. But if you're looking for someone's attention, somehow it translates into desperation, and that desperation can be sort of like smelled. Desperation, it's a, guys who like me are too chicken to tell me always hear it from other people. Yes, it has happened to me too, very often. And I'm like, okay, if you are not brave enough to tell me how you feel, then you are not the person for me. Because I will not make myself small so you can feel courageous. No, no. And it's not about being, because it's not an attitude. This is what I think. I think that you knowing yourself and you knowing what you want is not having an attitude, or it's not like acting like, oh, I'm superior. No, it's nothing like that. It's you being like connecting with what makes you you. We all have, we yes, of course. One thing that is very important if you like someone is also that, yes, you may have to smile more often. Not smile like, ha ha ha, no, but you have to show a bit more of approachability, like in a sense that I have noticed that when I was younger I was a bit like, like I had this sort of like way of staring at people, or I would look a bit cold, and and people would be afraid of me, and not afraid because it's not about being afraid. It's more about like, oh no, because I don't know, she looks like she is not interested, or I don't know, she makes me feel weird. And I think that you don't want people to see you that way, especially when they are potential friendships. I'm not talking about relationships, I'm talking about friendships. It's important for you to show who you are, but also like, like give them a space and allow the connection to happen. That's why when some people talk about dating tips, or dating or seducing stuff, and they are like, oh, you have to be in your power, you have to know what you want, because if they see weakness in you, they are going to take advantage of you. And I don't think it's like that. I think it's a sort of like, you need to flow with the circumstances. You don't have to be like too nice nor too yes, boundaries. Yeah, maybe you should talk more. um Boundaries, yes, but you should talk more. That's something that is very important. If you break the ice, and if you have even a brief conversation with them, then eventually the next time you will meet them, they will be like, oh, I was talking with her, she was really nice. So yes, I think it's a whole process, but you do need to allow conversation flow and happen, because like I always say, we are not, like, we don't have the crystal ball. You can be really intuitive, but sometimes you do need the person to confirm your thoughts or your perceptions. You do need to build a conversation, and you do need, even with a hi, like, hello, like, okay, she said hi to me, so maybe next time I can add the how are you, and then the next time I can add another question like, how was your day. You definitely should show, like, approachability, in the sense that you it's not necessary for that person to always be like starting the conversation. You can start the conversation as well, and don't make it too complex. If you want to talk about the weather, talk about the weather, but don't make it too, like, and don't make it too formal. Just allow it to flow. But sometimes what happens with people that are really shy is that they probably just get stuck in the hi, how are you? And they don't know how to proceed with the conversation. So maybe sometimes if you are a bit more confident, or if you can read the situation better, you can be like, adding a new topic, help that person get out of the uncomfortableness of, I don't know what to say next, because the conversation, it's a two-way interaction, so you do need to also put your part when you feel like the other person is stuck. So sometimes, like, when people feel like they have the power in the connection, they are like, oh, I'm going to wait for him to talk to me. And no, just a conversation. And also, what I think I learned about, especially if I started talking or just interacting with someone that I find attractive, I feel like I felt less nervous and anxious when I started talking to them. It's like I break that barrier, or that sort of like mystique or fantasy of, like, when you like someone, that you always put them on a pedestal, or you always, like, they are perfect in your eyes, and they are in this high level, they are unattainable. So you do have to also break the magic with reality, in a sense that start a conversation, like, and talk to them. Don't talk to them as if they were your idols. Talk to them as if they were your friends or potential friends. See them with the lens of friendship and kindness. Don't see them like, oh, there goes my crush. There goes my crush. Because then you will start acting like a creep. You're, like I always say, I always mention this, I talk about this in my other lives, that whenever I am interested in someone, or I'm attracted to someone, I tend to stare at them too hard, and I tend to, it's not like I'm like this, but in my eyes I show that I cannot stop looking at them. So what I learned about this, that it's not about if they notice, or if I give myself away that I'm interested. It's not about that. It's more about, why you have to feel so, like, tense inside. That person is just a person. It's just a person. Just break the ice. Break the ice. Break the mystery. If you're interested in them, just go say hi. But yes, don't go like straight. Just wait for the right time. That, because I notice a lot of people that just want to make situations happen, where they, oh, I happen to be here and you're here and we're talking, like, you know like it's a whole process. And if you work with them, or you spend a quality amount of time with them, that's the better. But just don't look at them as if they were this, like, sort of God working on earth, God or goddess working on earth. Because the more you idealize them, the more you will feel insecure. Some people can appear not to be what you are looking for, or not your style beauty wise, but end up to be the right person. Life is really strange sometimes. Yes, it has happened to me that actually I was, like, really attracted. That's why I say attracted. I don't say in love, I say attracted. But probably the people that I felt this very strong attraction towards them, they weren't the nicest person. They weren't the nicest people. They weren't good for me. I mean, they were the whole package physically or in attitude. But from what I wanted to achieve with them, they weren't interested in that. So, sometimes you do need to balance, like, what do you want to go from here? You probably, if you want to have a stability, that, to have emotional stability and to have, like, a long-term relationship nowadays is really hard, because things have changed a lot. I always used to tell my niece this, that when I was younger, I didn't have any issue to have a boyfriend, because it was like, oh yes, I saw them at a party, or I met them somewhere, and they would ask me out, they would call me during the week, we would talk on the phone, then we would hang out during the weekends, and then probably in the first date they would already ask me to be their girlfriend, and then we would be dating for quite a long time. So, um, and we knew that we were exclusive, and I knew that that person wanted me only. There weren't like, oh, he's talking to someone else. There weren't like confusion in the middle. I think that that's what I experienced, at least. But then after I started to being single, like after I turned 25, 27, I got in the dating scene again, because I was single. I had broken up of a very long-term relationship. So I had to put myself like available, and it was really hard for me to find someone that really wanted something with me, something long term, like they didn't put the effort that much. They were actually very lazy. They were very evasive. They would be really confusing in their communication, and at first I didn't understand, and I was like, my God, what's going on? Like, is there something wrong with me that, I just cannot seem to get through this person? Like, I don't know what he wants. He seems to be into me, but he doesn't. He's not stable. Now he's here, now he's not. And it made me feel uncomfortable, about my own self-worth. But then I realized that the dating scene, or the dating process, or the relationships had changed. The relationship styles had changed, and now is not that you cannot put a label on a connection, because you never know what's going to happen next week with that person. So yes, it's uncomfortable. Yes, it is, but it's what it is. So that's why I say, don't put a lot of things, be you, but don't put too much expectations on a bond, because you never know what the other person is looking for. Probably they do have other options, or they just want to have a good time, and that's it. you know and also, don't take it personally. I always say, if someone just goes, disappears of my life, I thank them. I'm like, thank you, thank you. I actually think that if someone ghosts you, I think that you should thank them, because they don't have, they just don't have what you want. So you should thank them. Yes. It's just that when you work with them, or when you study with them, you give yourself, it's an everyday situation, so you have the potential to actually see, like, and they are not showing you the pretty side of themselves. People are too caught up in fantasies rather than staying in reality. Yes. They think they have possibilities, but they don't have the possibilities. No one has the possibilities, actually, because it's true. You're living in fantasies. You're thinking of, oh, this is not the right person for me. I'm going to wait for the next. Maybe the next one will be the right person, and then the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one, and we're all thinking the same. So, it's a bit confusing. Relationships are confusing, especially if the other person is not. Sometimes it's not about being courageous or not being a coward. It's more about you actually being emotionally intelligent. And in my case, I had met some people that they weren't emotionally intelligent. They were intelligent in a very intellectual way, but they didn't know themselves very well. So they didn't know what they wanted, what their emotional needs were. So sometimes to talk about, what do you want? Like, how are you feeling about this? How are you feeling about me? Is like, oh no, wait a minute. Like, I don't talk about feelings. And then give you all these random excuses about why they do not want. So it's, you do have to respect that not everyone is at your same level, and also like understand it and not, don't blame it on you. That's something that actually the first thing we do is like, oh, what's wrong with me? Because you're like, I always said the same thing. Like, I always blame it on my intelligence. That I was like, maybe I'm too intelligent to actually be lucky in love. Because somehow, if I notice something about someone, um, character, I just cannot be still and be sort of like playing dumb. For me to play dumb, or for me to be average, or for me to be, because when I care about someone, I study that person very well. I study all my loved ones very well. Like I know my people. So if I see that that you are like a mess, or that you are inconsistent, I cannot look away. I cannot ignore it. And sometimes a lot of people are like, why wouldn't you leave things alone in order to stay with that person? And I cannot leave things alone. Especially when I think that, because it's not, what is it for me if I let that person uh, get away with things? How much power are they going to get in the relationship just because I prefer not to say anything? What does that say about me? If I avoid the conflict and all I see is that, oh, we are the perfect couple because we look so cute together. I think that also, guys, if you do watch Netflix and you had come across the documentaries of the Tinder Swifler and now that I recommend you to watch that Bad Vegan documentary, that's how it shows that how gaslighting works. That's when you will see that sometimes, as most powerful and independent the female is, somehow you do meet people and potential lovers that can ruin you. Not just ruin you emotionally, they can ruin you financially as well. So watch it. Watch who you trust. Open your eyes. Open your eyes. Be safe. Take care of yourself. Be safe. It's okay to be a giver. It's okay to be generous, but don't lose yourself in the connection. Yes. Yes, that's very. Actually happens very often, Vanessa. It happens very often. They are okay with you as long as you say yes to everything that they ask. And then one day you wake up and you're like, okay, I'm not going to say yes anymore. I don't like this. And then you are the bad guy for setting boundaries. So that's something that you You do it. It's hurtful. It's a bit almost traumatic to realize that people that you care about so much can be that level of energy suckers. I always call them like emotional vampires, but they do it. They do it shamelessly. And don't worry, because if you say yes, if you say no to them, and if you like get them out of your life, they will eventually find someone else. Don't worry. They will recover pretty quickly because they are leeches. They absorb everything from everyone. They have possibilities. They know how to do it. They know how to do it. They have it integrated in that. Because that's the only way they survive, thanks to other people's goodwill and good heart. I get randomly reminded with the movie starring Good Changeling, have you gaslighting? That poor woman saying that boy wasn't her son. And everyone were like, and that if we think about relationships, that also happens, that sometimes families do not realize this. But that's why I say that it's a systematic kind of thing, because it's not only your partner that does it, it's also that your partner's way of convincing you, he also convinces people around you that you are wrong. So that the social pressure, or probably if you are in a relationship that you are unhappy, but you have your whole family telling you like, no, why are you considering breaking up? Like, you are going to break the family. Like, what are you doing? You have to stay in that relationship. You have to stay and fight for that relationship. It doesn't matter if you're unhappy, if you are being abused in some way, you have to take it up. You have to, you have to keep going. And that's not a good advice, actually. That's not a good advice. But that's why sometimes the people that gaslight, they are such a good manipulators, because they don't only manipulate you, they manipulate your family, your closest friends. So when you want to accuse them of something, actually the other part of the family is like, oh, there's something wrong with her. Like, oh my God, like no one is supporting you. So that's one of the pressures of you being like questioning yourself, like, maybe I'm the one that is wrong. Maybe if he says that I'm crazy, maybe I am crazy, because everyone else agrees, everyone else says so. So that's why you need, and also that's why when I say about K-pop and fandoms and stuff, and I always say beware of the mob mentality, because the mob mentality will always try to push away the one that thinks differently, and they will all gather up to attack the person that thinks differently. So if you feel uncomfortable about something and you don't agree to something, just like I said, you slowly walk away, because you will not get support. You will get random strangers like sending you hateful messages online, but you will not get the support. You will not get someone that will be like, oh, I think she's right. No. In a mob mentality, no. If the enemy is you, you are the enemy. So there's no way you're going to get support. Or actually, if some of those people somehow agree with what you say or think, they will not say it out loud. They will not defend you. So beware of that. Beware of that. Always be always have critical thinking, always question things, like take a while, distance yourself from certain situations where you are like, I'm feeling a bit uncomfortable about this. Like take your time. Connect with you. Connect with you. Okay, guys, we are 1 hour 26 minutes in. Let's proceed with the questions of today so we can wrap this. And please be be patient because I'm going to see if I can get pen and paper. I got pen and paper. Mm. Yeah, I always go through that. Whenever I see that I have a lot of people block, like I'm like, maybe sometimes I blame it on my Scorpio moon, and I'm like, oh, I have zero tolerance. But sometimes I feel like it's okay because, sometimes you cannot make people see like, or you cannot be forcing your opinion on others. It's not right either. Neither way, it's like, so if you don't agree with what they're doing, just, to each their own. Like, don't, because then everything gets complicated. They start accusing you of things. So yes, when I feel like I don't agree with someone's like what they post or what they say, I choose block them or silence them. I think that is the best way because you know everyone has their opinion. So, and I always say, maybe you are the bad guy in someone else's story. That's something that you also need to take into consideration. That sometimes we are the bad guys in someone else's story. I don't follow much the North nodes. I will have to read about that because I don't know that much about astrology. I mean, I know about the North node and that it's about our destiny or what we have to accomplish, the lesson that we came here to actually to fulfill, but I don't know how it's influenced by the house. I guess it takes the energy of the house just like the other planets, but I just take it more by the signs. Um, so I don't know. I will have to search for that. And I also want to let you know, guys, that while I was recovering from my voice, I started to somehow figure out what to do with my Discord server because it's really confusing for me to customize it and set and doing the settings and stuff. But I think I'm slowly getting there. So as soon as I have it finished, I will share the link with you, so we can hang out over there. So maybe over there it would be easier, to share, I don't know, astrology tips or or we can talk about certain things that are available online, so um, but I'm still customize it because I don't know, I'm doing it, but when you are doing it, you're following you're following the instructions, but somehow you're like, oh, this doesn't look that good. There's something missing here, like Okay, guys, let's move on to the questions, please. If you have any, try not to be the same ones that we did on the other lives, because we are always talking about the same people. Just that I take more the sign that is in a north node. You have to take the sign. For example, I have my south node in Scorpio and I have my north node in Taurus. So I know that what I came here to in this life to actually learn from when it comes to energy is about to embracing the Taurus energy. You know, the Taurus lessons, you know, about slowing down, about the material realm, you know, because a Scorpio is all about, you know, the darkness, the deepness. So, you know, I think that having a North Node in Taurus is more about you embracing the material side of things, taking things slowly, also being more realistic, and being a bit more, you know, like worried about financial security, you know, and about, you know, enjoying the process, taking your time to make something grow, you know, and also taking care of your body, your senses, enjoying yourself, enjoying self-care, you know, and so it's very important. For me, it's not easy because I'm not because yes, basically, yes, and a heart. You have to integrate the Leo, because actually if you have your south node in Aquarius, actually your south node in Aquarius, it means that probably in a previous life you were in Aquarius. So when you are in Aquarius, it means that you probably your life was a lot about community, you know, and about belonging to a community. So now your north node in Leo is like, come on, integrate individualization. Integrate individualization. Like, who are you? What do you want for yourself? What is your personality like? You know, like focus on the self, not so much on the others. Focus on the self, on working on you. It's funny because I have no Virgo and my mom is, so I guess I can look up to her. Yes, yes. It's just that, but you know, you always have to think about this. I always taking the south node as well, because the south node is the energy that you carried with in your previous life. So you probably, like I mentioned, you probably were, I don't know, a Pisces in a previous life. So you have to think that you come into this life with this sort of Pisces, that for you Pisces maybe is a more known energy to you, that you are like, oh, okay, yes, spirituality, yes, everyone, like, you know, like very expansive and very, yes, Pisces is a very known energy to you. So what you have to do now is like, okay, yes, I went through Pisces, maybe I was a Pisces, maybe all Pisces things related are known to me, but the challenge is to integrate the North Node. The North Node lessons. So yes, it's about Virgo. That Virgo is all about, you know, like integrating your so also about self-care, you know, because every time you have an earth sign as a north node, it's all about taking care of the body, taking care of your health, also not be so messy with your matters, you know, not like getting caught in daydreaming, more about reality. Stay grounded, be very be very organized with your matters, you know, like find some kind of routines that help you, like find a sort of order. For you, order is going to give you peace. Yes, yes. But yes, you can take it also as the important people in your life would probably be of a Virgo energy, so you can learn from them. Yes. I don't know about synastries. I read them, but I don't know much to tell you, Mariana. I don't know. I know synastry and composite, but I like I know when I read it, but I cannot express it with words, like because I'm not an expert about synastry or composite charts. Like I understand them, but in my perception, like I cannot reproduce it. The second house is about knowing your own values. Yes, the second house is the house of Taurus. Yes. So it also talks about your self-esteem and what you do to take care of yourself. So yes, you have to take the sign and also the house it is in. So definitely it's talking about, what do you do to recognize yourself? Like what are your, and probably you will connect with the North Node more in things that has to do with retribution, money retribution. Like, okay, I have a talent. How much do I charge for my talent? You know? So yes, it's complex. Guys, do you have questions so we can write it down? I'm making the list, Ocean. Uh-huh. Jujeon and Changhyun. Okay, is it either I read for Monsaik's comeback or I read for Johyun and Changhyuk working on something? You can choose one of those. Okay. Didn't we talk about 17 combat? Okay. Monster X comeback on April 11. How is the new South Korea president? Okay. New South Korea president impact on K-pop. I already pulled the card for Blackpink comeback. Wendy Red Velvet. 21. Jesus solo. Purple Kiss. I have to read for Purple Kiss. Purple Kiss. I have it on my list for a while. I cannot. There's always something new, and I cannot, or I didn't I? I don't remember anymore. I'm so lost. When you age, guys, it's like this. You forget about things. Hola, Diana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. Yes. Buenos días, Diana. We are on the questions section. Do you have a question? Because I'm about to finish with the questions. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 7. I can take one more. I don't know if you want to ask something. Woojin. I'm going to do a reading for Woojin. It's his birthday soon, right? He's an Aries. Can you please put him in my Aries community post, please? The Aries season that I post, so I can remember that he is on the list, please. I don't want to forget about him. Because sometimes you do give me great recommendations here in the chat, but then when I cannot remember then when I'm Diana, do you have a question? Or I'm going to close it because I have a lot. There are a lot of people here. A lot of energy here. Okay. Okay, Diana. Okay, let's move on. Okay, let's start with the questions. First of all, Monster X come back on April 11. Oh. Prince of Pentacles. I know it's not on the right side, but it says construction. So I think that they actually are building something that is going to have, like, they're always working on something. I think I said this when someone asked me about their possible concert or something like this. And I mentioned, like, oh no, when they asked me about their relationship with Wano, then I said that these are busy guys. They're always thinking about how to find opportunities to work on something. So it's not a surprise that they got the card of construction. They're always building something. They are always working. Look at them. Look at this card. See, this guy is working, he's getting his hands, like, this is someone that works in the reality, it's not just ideas. They are building something, they are producing, you see, and they're always thinking about the road ahead of them. They're always about thinking about climbing the mountain, and the mountain is their expectation. So I think that these guys are focusing on working. They are working, like, it doesn't matter how long it takes for them to get to where they want to be, but you will always find them working on something. Thank God, because this says a lot about they are so independent. Like, I can say, I don't know what company they belong to, but what I can say is that everything that they had gained is because of their hard work. I definitely see them like working and working and working. It's like, okay, what do we do today? Okay, what's next? Okay, like, but really putting the effort. These guys really put the body on to work. Like they are, and this is great because sometimes I think that there are a lot of groups that definitely they do have to wait for the company to give them a sort of like approval, and they have to wait for a lot of processes of decisions to be made, and they are like, okay, we're on the move already. We are working. We are making the machine work. We are making it work. It's working. Is on. So yes, and we are not stopping. We are not stopping. If people think that they are going to be stopped, no. They need a break, those guys. But I don't think they're tired. I think that they just show with I'm sorry, can I speak? They show with results, um, their success. They just do. They just show up. Like, okay, what do you want? Do you want me here? Like, okay, I will make a gig here, a gig there, activity here, activity here. But you will see me. You will know about me. I'm not that. Like, I am very much active. I'm active. I'm active. This is going to be a great year for them. Wendy, Red Velvet. Wendy, I don't. What is Wendy's face like? Because I always confuse her with the other. There, look, I'm going to be honest. Of Red Velvet, I know the three most popular ones that I guess is Irene, Soji, and Joy. Then the other two, I always confuse them. It's like, is it Wendy, the vocalist? Um, the one that was in the rumor with Monsta S X Minhyuk, the one that everyone was speculating, because it came across in my TikTok that there were a picture of them standing next to each other, and they were like, oh, okay, yes, that one. So I can focus on her face. That's why I needed this. I can focus on her face because I always confuse them with the other one. Poor girl, they do not let her live alone. Like, can you have a conversation with the opposite sex? It's like, it's her work. They are working. Like, and what if they are dating? It's their thing. They're adults. Um, Four of Swords, rest. The card of rest. So I think that probably she needs to rest. There's this sense of, I don't know if she is allowed to rest actually, but I think she definitely does need it, And I think that it's not just about the body, about like, oh, I'm exhausted, like I'm tired. It's more about mentally. This girl needs to like somehow stop overthinking so much. Like, she definitely thinks a lot. She has a lot of things on her mind that probably she cannot sleep. So I think that definitely she needs a rest. She needs to rest. But I think that, I don't know if I sense that she works a lot. That there's, I don't know if she has activities or what, but there's something with her mind. I don't know if she's studying or something like that, because I think that it has to do more with the intellectual part of having to learn a lot of things. Yeah, she needs a rest. She needs a rest. But it's because she has a lot of worries on her mind. Probably she's going through something. So she definitely, when she has to rest or when it's nighttime, she has trouble sleeping, Yes. But I think that it's more about, laying down and being like, okay, I'm going to take a few days off. It's more about the mind, She's a bit worried about something. 17, comeback. The Six of Pentacles. So yes, are we sure that they are going to have a comeback? I think that they are going to be all right, because this card, it talks about the well-being. But it also is important to talk that these guys need to take care of their health, physical health, in the sense that here with the Pentacles, definitely we see that the energy of activity, physical activity, is definitely on the move. They definitely probably they feel better when they are working, but they also need to focus on what's well-being for them. And probably since we are talking about their comeback, probably what they're saying here is that while they are working, they feel like they are at their best when it comes to their well-being. Probably, yes, they have a sort of workaholic attitude, because this Six of Pentacles reminds me of the sixth house in the zodiac, that is the Virgo house. This reminds me a lot of Virgo energy, a lot of workaholic, like, okay, let's keep moving, let's keep working, let's keep putting the effort. And since this is a very positive card, but it also talks about how you sometimes need to balance, between what you give and you also what you're receiving, because the card is of well-being. So there's something about their well-being that is not just that they don't have to measure their well-being with being working. They have to also attend other or pay attention to other areas of their lives at the same time. This is the card for 17 comeback. So they definitely, I think that they could, I don't know if it's announced already, but I think that they will be there, like in the sense that the work is going to be made. But what I think that is important for them is to connect with, like what's well-being to you, because I think that they are ignoring a lot of things. And also, the Six of Pentacles is a card that it doesn't give the greater results, like in the sense that probably they will get a result, but it won't be as much as they think. Probably it will be very average. It will be like consistent, yes. It will be stable, yes. But I think that it will not be that groundbreaking, like I think that there's something about 17 that they probably, I don't know what's going on in there, but they need better publicity, or they need a better, like, because I think that their work and their how professional they are, they deserve to earn more. And I think that when I also think about the word well-being, I think that these guys definitely are, like, they are in a comfortable position. It's not like something is missing, but I think that they could do better. Like, I think that someone should invest more on them, or do more, like something a bit more, like let's do something more out of the ordinary, but they are consistent. They are represented by the Pentacles. But I think that they would deserve to, it's just that I think that they take them for granted. I think that, and I'm saying this, thank God they are in Hive. Thank God they are in Hive. Because Hive, can have their, they do have their things, but I think that the guys are safe there. They are safe there. Yes. Yes. That's why I was like, come on, like, these guys are amazing. Like, how much, like, when are they going to see finally that, but it's just that I think that also the consistency and the success that they have is thanks to the fans. The fans are also there putting the effort. So that's why they are stable. But you're like, my God, with all those talents, you should be greater. You deserve to be greater. Like you should be in a higher, like, and it's not about competition. It's more about endurance. They are very consistent with their work. So you're like, these guys definitely deserve like something better. Like, come on, like give them some recognition. How long has them been around? How long was it from their debut? Uh, 2016. Mm. Mm. New South Korea president impact on K-pop. Seven of Wands. The card of courage and valor. Mm. Oh. Um. I think. I think that K-pop will be alright. Actually, I think that actually this guy is very passionate about K-pop influence. I don't know if he likes K-pop or what, but there's this sense. But what is it about him is that he is going to be very blunt about him actually being like the ruler of the things. He will not like be been trying to be buddies or friend with K-pop idols. He will be like, okay, I am the authority here. Like I am the authority here. I am the one in power. And yes, you do contribute. Yes, you do contribute a lot. Yes, I know. But this is my domain. This is my playground. Like you stand behind me because I am the star here. There's this sense of like, yes, like I appreciate what you do. Let's keep doing it. There's this sense of let's keep doing it. He probably will not have a trouble like like bringing new ideas. Like he will definitely love it. To have promote K-pop even more. But he's like, okay, this is. Actually, he's really passionate about K-pop things related. He's very passionate about them. But yes, there's this sense also of like I am the one that it's, I'm the one that it has the power, and I will defend myself. I think he's worried more about how he's going to be seen than actually what K-pop can do for the community or the globally sensation that they are. I think that he's more worried about him. He's like, okay, yes, like, but he's also someone that he's very courageous. He's very courageous. He's very courageous, and he has a lot of ideas, and he doesn't mind, even though he is from the conservative party, I believe, he does have a lot of courage. So he will make a lot of bold moves when it comes to K-pop, because this card is called valor. That is courage. That is you being courageous. It's you being like, okay, like, what do we have to do? But there's also a bit of resistance in him. Like I am the one that holds the power, or I am the one that makes this happen. It's like I am the representation. You are the followers. Something like that. You will not move. But he's very charismatic. This is all I'm going to say. He's very charismatic. Pay attention to his words, because actually, I don't know if he is flexible, but I think that when you start listening to the way he speaks, especially about K-pop and things related, you will be like, oh, he sounds very liberal, or oh, I didn't know he thought that way, or he felt that way, or he had this mindset. But it's all for the show. It's all for the show. He is a very contradictory person. So, and he wants to assist his dominance all the time. So, but actually, he is, yes, he's very masculine. So he will probably like promote a lot of boy groups, or the most famous boy groups. He will have like meeting with them and stuff. But girl groups, I don't know. Maybe the girl group that is very influential, but I don't know. I don't know the deal there. But it's just that he's a president, guys. He's a president. He's a president. We know it's not. It is not like something new. We know that presidents are like this. So 21. The Empress. Is there a possibility that they could have a comeback this year? Does anyone know? Or if they are working on creating a business for themselves? The four of them? They are going to create something together this year. And they are going to do it with each other, like the members, because I see the Empress. So this is feminine energy like helping each other growth. This is about achieving something, but also very female energy. There's no male energy here. They are going to do it by themselves and for themselves. So you could expect something coming from them. Jesus solo. Yes. They could do a reunion or a business, or starting a business together. But they will definitely expand their empire somehow. They will expand it. Or they will get an award or recognition. But I think that they are working on something. These girls, they have a lot of power. It's just that they are more powerful when they are together. They need to realize that. I don't know how their dynamic works. But if they were to, because here I asked for 21. So, the Empress showed up as a potential. So if they were 21, if they were presented and working as 21, they would get the Empress, the creation, the creative process, seeing the fruits of your labor, like seeing results. Jesus solo. Nine of Pentacles in reverse. So the Nine of Pentacles is the card of prudence. It's the card of you, having the patience to go through all the different stages, to reach your level. You go through here, 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 and then you will slowly reach to this level where you will see the results. But I think that since this is in reverse, there's something about a lot of impatience. I don't know if Jisoo has manifested somehow that she wants to release her solo, or probably the company is also rushing the process of getting a solo out of her or for her. But it's a bit unstable, to be honest, because Um, the Nine of Pentacles, when it is upright, when it is in the right position, is about, you know, like having patience that you, at the end of, you will see a result. But since it's in reverse, it's about being a bit like trying to rush things. You know, sometimes when you rush things, the result is not the same. Yes, you will get a result, but somehow is not that positive. You know, probably she will get she will get the solo, but it will be something that it will not be very, like, people will not remember it that much. Like, it will be a huge deal once it's out, but after that it will be like, you know, like, oh, remember that happened? Oh no, I don't remember that happened. But I think that it has to do with the company's strategy. Actually, the company is getting a bit like, I don't know what they want to do, but they definitely are a bit messy when it comes to these girls. And probably there are a lot of discussions, you know, and there's a lot of push and pull, a lot of disagreement. So they are like, okay, we will release something now. And it's like, okay, well, okay, I'm ready. But there's a bit of disconformity here. But you will see the result. You will get the result because it's a pentacle. So the result will be present. But and I also think that since this card is of prudence and it's in reverse, I think that somehow it talks about how maybe Jisoo also needs to be a bit more assertive about asking things for herself. She probably should speak up more, you know, and being a bit like, okay, like being a bit more Capricorn, you know, being a bit more Capricorn, a bit more bossy, you know, like, okay, I want this, or I'm choosing this and I'm staying with this and I want this. Like, I think that she's too nice, you know, she's too nice. I think that she needs to, because since this is in reverse, it means that probably she is a bit also, like, she's a bit restless, you know, like, okay, like I had been patient enough about a lot of things and now, you know, I don't have that patience anymore. But these are all instances for her to learn to be more assertive. You know, I think that she definitely has you know, a boss, a very dominant side. It's just that she's very grateful. You know, probably she's thinking like, okay, I cannot complain because the last time I had the opportunity to do this role, so, you know, I feel like I somehow got you know, got what I wanted. But somehow I think that she needs to, her opinion needs to be heard. She needs to, she has the experience, you know, she had been working, she's not just a singer, you know, she had been working in different individual projects. She has, the audience love her, you know, she's a great MC, she's a great actress, you know, she has a lot of potential as a communicator, you know. So I think that you know, she shouldn't be like, you know, trying to be too modest. Like, don't be too modest. Like, step into your power. You have a lot of resources. You know, of course, that what she needs to understand is that she is unique and she is original, and that she doesn't have to compare herself to the others, or she doesn't have to compare her to the others, because what she has to bring to the table and to the group is very different from what the others do. So definitely she is a different kind of potential, and they don't know what to do with that. That's why I think that it's the company's fault. You know, it's not Jesus' fault, it's not the other girl's fault, it's the way they promote her. You know, it's like, they are like, okay, yes, we're giving you this. You know, so it's sort of like, and be thankful that I gave you this. You know, and this girl has a lot of potential. She has a lot of potential. And she had always been patient. You know, she had always been patient. Like you said, if she had to go last, she would be like, okay, I will go last. But no, she needs to be a bit more assertive. She needs, yes, she has a lot of potential. It's just that they portray her in a way as if she is like, like she has a lot of potential, a lot of potential. That girl can make things work. She gives great results. It's just that they don't invest on her. They don't invest on her because actually, what she's good at is networking and collaborating with other artists, and it's emceeing and it's talking to other people, and it's like being recorded or being on camera, having an interaction with other artists. But actually, what they want of Blackpink is models. So they are like, no, you're promoting this brand, so we will take pretty pictures of you, but you're not allowed to say a thing because you have to look pretty and nice and stay over there that we're going to take a picture of you. And Jisoo, her strongest asset is that she is really good at communicating and engaging with the audience. So you do need to give her more roles for her acting, like more roles for emceeing, more roles for interviewing, like stop, give that girl. And she, what I also think is that a lot of people that had worked with her have a lot of nice things to say about Jesus' potential. She has a great work ethic, and she's really funny, and she's really intelligent, and she's great. So I think that, this is something that you also, as if you have an artist, under your company, you have mm, you have to also, pay attention, like, does she relate with other artists? How is her dynamic with working with different people that is not her usual niche or her usual group or the group that she belongs to? And Jisoo has the ability. She talks to male idols, male artists, the same way, with the same respect, admiration, and presence that she does it with the females. So there's a huge potential for her. There's a lot of potential. It's just that they just don't want her for that. They are like, okay, we'll let you do this thing that you wanted to do. Thank us for this, and let's move on. It's such a waste of potential, such a waste. And I see, I know that when I read for her, that I could see that she definitely loves acting. She loves acting. It's just that they don't give her that much. They don't give her, she probably wants to, like, study more, and I don't think they give her time or, the proper uh, tools so she can, like, be better, because they are not interested in her being better. They don't want her to stand out. They just pull them when they have to work, like, do this, and that's it. But I think that the people that had worked with her and had the experience to work with her, they definitely admire her a lot and had a good time working with her, because she's very down to earth and she's very funny. Okay, Purple Kiss. I have to read for Purple Kiss. I love their music. Purple Kiss, 9 of Cups. So, yes, it's the card of content. Not content of work. Content of being content, of being happy. And I think that it said content. Content? Content. I think that they are getting a wish come true. They are getting a wish come true. They are celebrating something. They are, like, really close to getting something that they want, and they are going to be celebrating. So this is very special, actually. The 9 of Cups, it's fulfillment, it's a full, like, you're feeling full in yourself, you've been like, oh, okay, I made it, we did it right, we got the great results, And it gives you a lot of peace in your heart because somehow you had poured a lot of your soul, a lot of your love into this project. So probably they will be really happy about this. They will get a lot of love as well. And you know, these girls are very emotional and also they are very spiritually gifted. They have a sort of connection with their audience. I don't know if their music has some kind of mystic elements, but there's something about them connecting with joy. They definitely enjoy what they do. And I think that they are really excited for this opportunity. They are really excited and they are going to do well. They are going to do great. They are not tired, they are not burnt out, they are great. They are very optimistic at the same time because they know of their hard work. And probably the relationship that they have with the audience is also very healing for them. So they do not fear anything. You know, they are very emotional. They definitely depend on the support of others because they are very emotional. Woojin. Woojin the soloist. The strengths for Woojin. I think that Woojin definitely is becoming stronger. He's working on himself. You know, when I did a reading for him, I definitely saw that, you know, he had his comeback and the song is beautiful. I still have it on my playlist, that it was a Still Dream. I love it. I love his voice. But what I did see back then is that he wouldn't get, you know, he would get recognition. Yes, people would praise him, but that things would be really slow when it comes to work opportunities for him. Even though things had been cleared out and stuff, it somehow has has an influence in his career, and you know, a lot of people talk. You know, like there's a lot of like, you know, his image had been affected somehow. You know, people just don't let go of certain things. They just want to focus on the negative, you know. And I think that what I said back then is that for me it was important that he gets help because this has left a mark in his unconscious and in his mental health. So definitely I was like advising that he needed to take a few moments, you know, away from the industry so he can work on himself. Because actually, it doesn't matter how much they recognize him or how much they praise him. The heartache, the desperation, the anger, the whole trauma that he went through, those things he's not going to heal through staying in the industry. Actually, the industry, whenever they had a chance, they're going to try to pull him down. So I think that I was like, he needs to focus more on healing, you know, on himself. Like, I know for him to be active is important because he needs to work, but I was like, you know, because it seems like this incident will always follow him wherever he goes, and they will always bring this subject up. So they will always be reliving what he went through, and if it's true or not, and how he felt back then, you know. So I think he needed a break from all of that. He needed to focus on his health, his mental health, that has been very affected. So seeing the strength card definitely is a good sign that he's slowly recovering, that he's like slowly like taming, because, you know, I don't know if you have any idea of how damaging is what he went through. How much it can affect a person and break a person. And the fact that you see him singing and standing and dancing doesn't mean that the trauma is gone. So he will need to always work on himself. to recover. He's a warrior. He's an Aries. He's a double Aries. So I know that probably for him it's better to face problems face to face. So probably for him to stay away from the industry is not an option. He's like, no, I want them to see me. I want to show up. I want them to face. I want to face them. I want to face my enemies. You know, I want to face them. And I'm going to show them that I'm all right. But inside, you are a human. So if you felt affected somehow, you need to talk about that. Not on camera. Work it in a very confidential place with the people you love, with a therapist. Talk to someone about this, about the anger that you feel inside, about everything that went through. Because it didn't just affect him. It affected a lot of people around him. So, you know, it's complex. It's complex, and unfortunately, I don't think he's going to be the last one. I think that there are a lot of people that went through the same, because these haters have no boundaries, unfortunately. But now he's in this place where he's like, okay, I'm facing my fears, I'm facing my anger, I'm holding this lion inside of me with love, and I'm accepting that, yes, I do have some strong emotions and feelings about what I went through. And that I'm okay because I'm human. And I will come back, and I will be stronger. But he needs to focus on the hurting. He cannot avoid it. Because you know, the things that you don't recognize or the things that you don't acknowledge about your emotions, eventually they come out. You start having a panic attack, or you start having some injury, or something in your body is going to explode, and it's going to, like an ulcer or some kind of appendicity, something like that is going to come out, and it's going to be a sign that you haven't healed properly yet. And this is not just for K-pop idols. This is for everyone. This is for people in general. This is about the hurt that has been done on the person. Because the persona, the idol image had been restored. But the trauma inside the person, not yet. But he's working on that. And he's becoming stronger. He's going to be all right. He's a fighter. Just that he needed to stop. He needed to stop because he was like, okay, let's move on. Let's continue working. You know, he's like, okay, I want to, you know, he is a passionate person. He's like, okay, I'm going to face my fears, or I'm going to face whatever I'm going through. I have the opportunity today to face what I went through, so I'm going to acknowledge it. But somehow, sometimes you do need to slow down. You know, you don't need to do it on camera. Do it privately. Do your work privately. Heal yourself. Focus on you, on getting better. On you getting better. I'm sorry. And then the public. Let them wait. They have put you in hiatus for a long time, so let them wait a bit more. Don't worry that karma gets to all of us. To all of us. Okay, guys, the last question is 10 as a mentor. Wavy 10. And then I'm going to go, guys. The Hierophant. talking about mentorship, about being a mentor, the Hierophant, or the priest. Here is called the priest card. So definitely he has a lot of knowledge to share. This is his perfect state. He should be a mentor always. He is a mentor. It's just that I think that he has so much knowledge and he has so much insight and so much to share with others that I think this is a great opportunity for him. He's going to be very respected because he knows how to deliver a feedback, or he knows how to accompany a process. He knows what it's like to be an apprentice or a learner, or someone that has to accommodate and learn and absorb knowledge. And he's also very aware that there are a lot of process to do that. So he will be very observant also of the processes. Like he will teach also, if he has to give a feedback, he would also talk about the importance of not rushing the process. Like when you are learning something, it's not about you looking tough or looking handsome or looking cool doing it. It's more about you being conscious about the practice that you are absorbing or what you are learning. Incorporate that knowledge. Don't choose like do it for the cameras. Like really being present and be a good learner. Allow yourself to be open to knowledge at the same time. Because some people are so eager, or they are so focused on, oh, I want to look good on camera when I'm learning this, or I want to have this sort of moment, so I think I can shine more than the others, and it's like, okay, are you here to just be, like comedy relief, or are you here to really learn what it's about? I think that he will definitely be a great mentor. He has the potential, he has the knowledge, he definitely is in the right place. I think he should do this more often, if he haven't already. Probably he had been a mentor already, or he had been a mentor for others in very like private settings. But he knows his part, and he has a lot of like, he has a lot of like insights to share, experiences to share with others that can help and guide others. Because he is going to be very he's going to be very understanding, and he's also going to share what he knows, but he's also going to be very stable in a sense that he is the authority, so you should pay attention to him. You should pay attention to him. Like, he's not your friend. He's not on the show to be someone's friend. He is on the show to share with you an important lesson so you can improve. So the work is yours. He's there to guide you, but he's not going to do the work for you. He's not going to be like babying you or being your babysitter or your parent figure or your mother figure. No. He's a mentor. So respect him. Respect him because we know that he's a Pisces with the moon in Gemini. So he can change his very cute and loving and understanding nature like this. You know it. You know it, that he's not someone that you should get on the bedside of 10, because he's very sweet, he's very understanding, but he has his moments as well where he can turn everything around and he can turn into someone else, and probably a very cold person. So you better pay attention and appreciate him and appreciate what he has to teach you. Okay, guys, I'm going to go. This was all for today. I hope that you enjoyed it. I did enjoy it. We talked about a lot of interesting things. So I'm going to start tomorrow's it's not a serious, but it's going to be for the birthday people. So yes, We should. Um, so if you haven't left your favorite Aries, please put it on a list. Please put it under the post of the community so I can read it, so I can write it down, because then I forget. I was like, oh, where did I read this? I know someone told me, but I do not remember. So let's keep it organized under the post that it's where I can find it all together. So thank you so much, guys, for being here. And yes, I will see you during the week. And if I have time, of course, I will be also online. I will try to do a live on Thursday, like the last time. So thank you guys for being here. Bye.